Hi there. Here is a little question for you to think about. What will happen to your stuff and even your body after you pass away? We might not see the importance of this until it is too late, but when someone passes in our community, how are we all going to have a shared understanding about what the deceased wanted for themselves and their family? By having a will, that's how. A will is a legal document that you make while you're alive. After you pass away, your will tells everybody what you want to happen to all your stuff. Let's have a look and we'll see what I'm talking about. Here's a story about two communities and two families. This isn't a true story, but it could be. Both of these families have recently lost a senior family member. Let's have a closer look at that first family. The deceased is Maddie, a famous artist in these parts. This is Saul, her husband, and their three children, Sam, Mary, and David. Maddie was a very strong woman and an upstanding member of their community. She had 6 grandchildren, but her kinship extended way beyond her immediate family, and many people called her Mum or Nana. Maddie took up painting later in life. She created a series of paintings around the stories of the waterholes in her country. Maddie was a collected painter and has left behind a few things like her house, some money, and a few unsold paintings. Here we see Sam, Mary, and David getting ready to go into town to meet with a lawyer to talk about what's going to happen now that Maddie has passed. Now let's look at that other family. The deceased in this family is Kathy. Kathy has left behind her husband Tom and 3 kids, Lizzie, Jada, and Alec. Kathy was an artist too. She was highly sought after by the art collectors in Europe, and her paintings often fetched large amounts of money. Tom used to work for the town council but recently had a stroke and is now confined to a wheelchair. Lizzie, Jada, and Alec all have families of their own and share responsibility of looking after their father. They too are on their way to meet with that lawyer. When that mob got to town, they went to the lawyer's office and sat down with the lawyer. The lawyer had some papers in front of her. She picked up those papers and said, "Your mother was quite sure of what she wanted, and luckily for you, she put all those wishes down here in this will. This is where a will is so good. Now Maddie's family and community will know exactly what to do." The lawyer then proceeded to inform the family of the instructions that were written in Maddie's will. The whole estate will be divided and shared amongst the children and grandchildren. She has asked that her eldest child, Sam, be the trustee of the will. It is the trustee's responsibility to pay all the bills, including funeral expenses. These are to be paid out of the money Maddie has in her bank account. Your mother knew that Sam would be good at this job. After all these expenses have been paid, then everything left over is to be divided between the children and grandchildren. 80% is divided equally between each of the kids. The remaining 20% is to be kept on trust and invested for all the grandchildren. That means that each of the 6 grandchildren will get a little money when they turn 18. This includes any future income from her artworks and any income derived from any copyrights of her artwork. It was your mother's wish to be buried in the community cemetery. As they leave the lawyer's office, they joke and laugh about travelling overseas and taking the kids to Disneyland. Look who's here. It's Kathy's mob. Let's see what happens in their meeting with the lawyer. When Kathy's kids sat down with the lawyer, she gave them some bad news. She told them that Kathy never left a will, and so we do not know what Kathy wanted to do with her estate or her body. The lawyer continued to explain that all of Kathy's estate will go to her husband. This made Kathy's kids feel really shocked and upset. Lizzie tells the lawyer that the children and grandchildren were expecting to get something because this is their cultural way. Jada said, "This is terrible. Since no one knows what Mum wanted, the family are going to argue and fight over access to the money and put pressure on Dad." The lawyer says she is sorry, but it's going to be so much more difficult without a will, and we might need to go to court because that's what the government law says. Then Alec pointed out that no one knows where she wanted to be buried, in community or in town. Ho ho, there goes Maddie's mob, look at them go. They thought they were going to have enough money to take the kids to Disneyland, but in the end all they got was enough to buy that old Toyota. So that's my little tale about wills. What do you think? Has it made you want to have a will? It certainly made Lizzie feel that way. After her mother passed and left no will, a rift opened up amongst her family. There was fighting about the money and no one had any control. Lizzie felt so bad about it that she decided to ensure that the same thing wouldn't happen when she died. So she got a will for herself, and she convinced her dad to arrange a will for himself too. Take a look. There's Lizzie with a visiting lawyer who's helping her with her will. Their wills are going to ensure that their family and community will have a shared understanding about what they want to happen after they're gone. For more information about how to organise a will for yourself, visit Arts Law.